Right now at 5, a 19-year-old ends up in the hospital after a pickup overturns on I-49 near Carthage.
And we have an alert day today for bitterly cold temperatures. We've got those gusty winds and dangerously cold wind chills. I'll look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Jasper County deputies investigate an illegal mobile home towing operation on local streets.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Water. It is now Monday, December the 29th. We're almost done with 2025, not 2026. We're not even there yet, but we're getting closer.
I mean, I knew time was moving fast. I didn't know it was like rapidly a whole nother year.
We gained like another 40 minutes of daylight through the month of January, which will certainly be nice. And that mobile home thing is the second time this year that somebody's tried to move one of those in ways that are not wise to try and move one of those.
It's just not a problem you expect to see.
No, the fact that it's happened twice, though, is just interesting. It makes me wonder, what's the towing capacity of my car? What now? Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a test. Maybe I should try and hook one up to my little Hyundai out there and see what it can tow.
But today would not be the day to try it.
No, today is definitely not the day to do that. I changed the brakes on my car yesterday. I started in a t-shirt and shorts. I ran into a small problem with one of them, and so it slowed me down. By the time I did the other two, I was in a sweater and jeans, and it was just kind of crazy because it got cold. That cold front brushed in, temperatures dropped, but that is why we have the alert day today, is for the bitterly cold temperatures. We're going to start with our live look downtown Pittsburgh. It looks nice. So things, again, it's going to be sunny. We've got clear skies now. It will be clear through the day, but it will be very cold through the day. 7th and Range Line, our camera there, looking good so far as well. Head over to the KDOT camera, 69-400 along 171. No fog to worry about this morning. Keeping an eye on the fog tracker because I noticed earlier this morning there's a weather sensor at the KDOT camera near Baxter Springs that was reporting fog, but there is no fog, so it may just be frosted over at this point, and it just doesn't know the difference. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line looks good. We do have wind advisories for the eastern half of our area that will continue through 6 a.m. because we can still get those gusts upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour. And again, that also ties into the alert day, is the winds themselves could produce some problems. It's just those wind chills that go along with these temperatures. Or maybe don't. Maybe if you want to start your Monday off right, just we'll censor the temperatures for you. We'll blur them out. But it's 19 in Joplin, 18 in Pittsburgh, and look at across the area. You got teens and 20s, so upper teens and some low 20s out there. The warmest spot we have right now looks to be Newata at 24. The colder spots, we got a couple of them, Nevada and Stockton, both at 17. Now we'll factor in the wind. And everybody's cold. Feels like 0 in Yates Center. 2 below 0 in Stockton. The warmest wind chill we have right now is 11 in Sedan. So Sedan, you're doing good. The winds have eased up apparently about that much. But this is what we're talking about, dangerously cold wind chills out there. And that's the main reason for this alert day. And also the other side of the alert day is this. This is how much colder it is now compared to this time 24 hours ago. A 50-degree drop in temperatures in 24 hours. Let that honestly sink in for a minute. Like, that is incredible. 50-degree drop. 51-degree drop in temperatures in just 24 hours. We told you that cold front was going to be potent, and it certainly was. We'll have clear skies. We're still going to have gusty northwest winds, but as we head into the afternoon, even into the mid-morning hours, those winds ease up just a hair, but still gusting upwards of 35 miles an hour. So we're still looking at wind chills today. That is incorrect. I will fix that, but they'll be gusting out of the northwest up to 35. Clear skies, 20 to start, upper 20s, low 30s for our highs. Wind chills today hanging out in that 0 to 10, maybe 0 to 15 degree range as we go through the day. So again, bitterly cold if you're heading out, heading back to work, whatever the case may be. Bundle up, limit your time outside. Now, temperatures do gradually begin to warm over the next few days, and we'll get back above normal, not into the 70s, but warmer than where we are right now. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A full-sized mobile home was spotted being towed illegally by a skid steer near Carthage, Missouri around 5 p.m. yesterday. The mobile home traveled east on Oak Street, north on Country Road 162, and east on West Mound Street. Jasper County deputies confirmed the towing was illegal, as such moves require special permits, escorts, and clearance checks for obstacles like mailboxes and power lines. The towing vehicle was switched from a skid steer to a tractor. It's unclear if the mover will be ticketed. The destination was near the dead end of West Mound, and further updates will follow. Well, a crash occurring Saturday in Carl Junction just before 6 p.m. Reports of a two-vehicle crash at Fountain Road and Highway JJ. Officials say the accident occurred when the 21-year-old female driver of a Kia Forte failed to yield, then traveled into the path of a Kia K5. On scene, we learned Carl Junction firefighters had to take the driver's side door off to extricate the driver. The 21-year-old was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Well, just after 6:30 p.m. Saturday evening, reports came in of a pickup overturned on I-49 near the Garrison Avenue exit. Multiple emergency agencies were alerted and responded to the scene. The 19-year-old driver was transported to the hospital for moderate injuries. A female passenger whose age was not released was not injured in the accident. Officials say the crash occurred as the driver lost control of the vehicle, causing the vehicle to strike the bridge railing and overturn. The crash occurred in the southbound lanes of I-49 at the 55-mile marker. At some point, the 2002 Ford Ranger lost control, struck the guardrail, and overturned numerous times. Well, just after 9:30 p.m. Friday evening, a Neosho County Sheriff's deputy was parked on the shoulder in her patrol truck and was struck head-on in a hit-and-run crash. Deputy Sierra Riggs was transported to Neosho Memorial Regional Medical Center of suspected minor injuries. The sheriff's office says Deputy Riggs has since returned to duty. They believe the vehicle that fled the crash scene was a pickup. The sheriff's office is asking anyone with information to please reach out. Our stories are often discovered by you, our viewers. We invite you to share your news tips with us. Scan the QR code and you'll be taken to a form where you can submit a tip quickly and easily. Thank you for being a part of the story. Well, parents and staff at a high school in Arkansas saved a referee's life when he went into cardiac arrest at a basketball game. Tyre White has the story.
They saw me die during a basketball game.
There's a different atmosphere inside of the Cabot High School gymnasium. This isn't the usual pregame tunnel players use to hype themselves up before game time. Instead, students are lined up to cheer on the referee who almost lost his life as he reunites with the people who saved it.
Whatever they did is what allowed me to be taken to the hospital and make it to the CCU and get a stent put in my heart, and now I have a monitor on. None of that's possible if those nurses aren't here, if that woman isn't there to take care of me, if those parents aren't here. I'm not here.
It was the second quarter of a Cabot girls JV basketball game in November. Holcomb was doing what he's done for years.
I'm standing there and I started feeling a little bit dizzy, and remember saying to myself, okay, at halftime you're going to need to eat something and drink some water.
But Holcomb didn't make it to halftime before he collapsed on the court from cardiac arrest. Athletic trainer Jennifer Asbury Mathis, with help from two parents with medical experience, rushed to Holcomb's side.
Gave me goosebumps. You know, you never think it's going to happen to you. You train for it and you pray it never happens. And it did.
Nurse and parent of one of the players, Denise Hicks, helped with Holcomb performing chest compressions. Holcomb was then shocked back to life with an AED device.
Whenever we saw him on the court and were taking care of him on the court, we weren't sure what was going to happen.
Watching the video was definitely emotional, but very happy and blessed that his life isn't finished here on earth.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
In the Edo language of Nigeria, the name Nosakare can mean God stands by me. For Nosakare Holcomb, that proved to be true in Cabot High School's gymnasium.
Basketball saved my life. Basketball literally saved my life.
Doctors found Holcomb had a 99% blockage in his main artery. He now has a stent and heart monitor, and he's already back on the court doing what he loves. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A computer glitch leads to free groceries for hundreds while controlled avalanches create 30-foot snow walls. Plus, more than 60 people across 22 states get sick with salmonella linked to raw oysters. And cold and dry conditions ahead in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. 2025 was a politically volatile year as President Trump returned to the White House intent on shaking things up. Trump came in and slashed the government, kicked off a large-scale immigration roundup, and made the word tariff his word of the year. Natalie Brand has the political year in review from Washington.
So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
President Trump kicked off the new year taking the oath as the 47th president of the United States and wasted no time signing 26 executive orders that day.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as DOGE.
Okay, that's a big one.
DOGE, led by billionaire Elon Musk, went to work slashing the size of federal government, eliminating tens of thousands of jobs and dramatically cutting government agencies.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
But the new administration beefed up Border Patrol and ICE, adding thousands of new agents to enforce immigration policies and carry out mass deportations. The National Guard also deployed to Democratic-run cities, including Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Chicago.
Your divisiveness and your brutality are not welcome here.
Border security was a key component of the Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill President Trump signed into law July 4th.
You have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment.
Democrats argue the legislation makes steep cuts to SNAP benefits and Medicaid. The Congressional Budget Office estimates it will add about $3.4 trillion to the deficit over the next decade.
You see the hatred he's got for Putin, it's very tough.
On the foreign policy front, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's February visit to the White House turned into a highly contentious Oval Office clash.
You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards.
Trump held a face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska this summer, and negotiations to end that war drag on.
This is a big day, a beautiful day.
President Trump did make progress in the Middle East, securing a peace deal between Israel and Hamas and seeing the remaining living Israeli hostages released. Trump declared tariff his favorite word and placed at least one on all U.S. trading partners.
It's going to be Liberation Day in America.
A standoff on Capitol Hill led to the longest government shutdown in American history.
There's no way out, folks. There's no way out.
Democrats pushed for an extension of Enhanced Affordable Care Act health subsidies. With impacts to SNAP recipients and the flying public, a handful of Democrats negotiated a compromise with Republicans to end the impasse.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
A bipartisan push also forced a vote to compel the DOJ to release all files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
We fought the president, the attorney general, the FBI director, the Speaker of the House, and the Vice President to get this win.
The U.S. Supreme Court looked at a number of challenges to Trump administration policies on its emergency docket, siding with the president nearly every time. One decision allowed Texas to move forward with a plan to draw new congressional districts for the upcoming 2026 midterm elections. Other Republican states have taken similar steps as President Trump tries to keep control of Congress. 2025's off-year elections brought wins for Democrats in the New Jersey and Virginia gubernatorial races and for self-described Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani in New York's mayoral race.
I feel very confident that he can do a very good job.
The country also saw political divisions boil over in heinous ways. The Pennsylvania governor's house was set on fire. Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were murdered. And conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated in front of a large crowd at Utah Valley University, shocking the nation and leading to calls for all sides to lower the political rhetoric heading into next year's elections. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
A very busy year in the political world. Well, still to come, food trends flood social media every day. The most popular weight loss advice is actually holding you back. Plus, cold and dry conditions ahead in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your Monday forecast. A grocery store with a glitch floats the bill for hundreds of holiday shoppers, and thousands break a mass mistletoe kiss world record. Jeremy Roth takes a look back at the week's wildest and weirdest stories, and take a look at this.
Take a look at the holiday week we had. Hundreds of holiday shoppers at a Texas grocery store got an unexpected early Christmas gift when an unforeseen computer glitch brought checkout lines to a standstill, leading management to announce they would cover the cost of every shopper in the store.
So thank you so much.
Customers at the Burleson HEB were moved by the generosity, which they say for those on a fixed income couldn't have come at a better time. Causing an avalanche to prevent an avalanche is what led to authorities in Wyoming digging out a road from beneath a nearly 30-foot tall wall of snow. Crews were forced to close the Teton Pass after mitigation teams triggered a controlled avalanche that brought tons of snow down the mountainside, resulting in a towering mound blocking the Teton Pass highway. But cleanup crews were eventually able to dig through and reopen the roadway safely. Thousands gathered to lock lips in Washington, D.C. in the name of record-setting holiday cheer. 1,435 couples gathered under the national mistletoe and planted a collective smooch that broke the Guinness World Record for the most couples kissing under a mistletoe. Flu season or no, these folks seemed happy to trade social distancing for social distancing. Finally, Ohio Sheriff's deputies were surprised when they made a traffic stop and found the first couple of Christmas inside a vehicle they say was clocked going just a bit too fast for Fulton County. Both Santa and Mrs. Claus got off with a slap on the wrist, but made sure to snap a keepsake pic worthy of a Season's Greetings social media share. For Take a Look at This Week, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I'm sure that officer was worried he was going to maybe end up on the naughty list. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, well, Mother Nature has certainly ended up on the naughty list post-Christmas here with this big drop in temperatures. We do have an alert day today because of that drop in temperatures. We're going to go over the details with you when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 524 now. On this Monday morning, we're starting with our wind advisories, which again, these continue really for the eastern half of our area until 6 o'clock this morning, where we can see these winds gust upwards of 45 miles an hour. And just a few minutes ago, watching our camera in downtown Pittsburgh, I mean, the Christmas decorations are still up, but with some of these gusts, man, it looked like it was about ready to take those decorations down and try and do the city a favor. But I'm sure they would prefer that's not how they came down. But that is one of the reasons we have our alert day in place, is for the winds from last night into this morning, which can cause havoc on their own, and the bitterly cold temperatures. We've got wind chills this morning below zero in some locations, and our temperatures have dropped 50 degrees in most cases in 24 hours. In fact, most of us, we dropped in less than 24 hours. But compared to yesterday morning at this time, 50 degrees colder now than where we were yesterday morning at this time, which is just a wild drop. As for today, though, it's again one of those days where if you are inside and you look outside, you will see clear skies, you will see sunshine, you'll see the bright sun. It will look really nice. And then you'll walk out the door and realize that you want to go immediately back inside because it is not going to be so nice. But outside of that, like I said, it's going to look good out there. Winds are still going to be gusting, though. The reason the wind advisories expire at 6 a.m. at this point is because the winds will ease up below wind advisory criteria. And that's something I want to emphasize is they're going to drop a bit, so we won't have wind advisories, but that doesn't mean the wind just suddenly stops. In fact, through the afternoon into the early evening hours, those winds could still gust upwards of about 35 miles an hour out of the northwest. So it keeps it just below wind advisory criteria, but it will still be breezy, which means it will still feel very cold out there as we head through our day. Late this evening overnight, winds become calm, skies will remain clear, and throughout most of the day Tuesday, our skies will be clear. Winds will shift out of the southwest, shouldn't be gusting, but could be about 5-10 miles an hour. We go later in the day, we'll start to go a little partly cloudy by late Tuesday into our Wednesday. Outside of that, Wednesday continues to be another pretty decent day. A weak boundary passes through, shifts our winds initially out of the northwest, then they'll be back out of the west, and eventually the southwest later in the day on our Wednesday. So, and again, as you can see, other than a few passing clouds, we are dry and clear for most of. Whoa. Okay. That's not right. Oh man, I told you I worked on my car yesterday. My body hurts in places I didn't know it could hurt. All right, and apparently my finger was too heavy. It's by 10 a.m. you have an opportunity to make dinner just by placing it outside. I apologize. It's supposed to be 22, obviously. If we reach that warm suddenly, that's a big deal. I'll get that fixed too. Okay, upper teens to start, mid-20s by 11 a.m., 22 by 10 a.m., not 222. These things are bound to have, like I said, all of these numbers you see have to be, I punch them in by hand, all right? And so every so often, I'm going to miss something. My finger's going to hit a button I didn't know it hit, or it's going to hit it too many times, and I'm not going to catch it right away, so I'll fix that. We'll go upper 20s, low 30s today, and as I mentioned, once we get after about 8, 9 a.m., winds really begin to ease up, so as advisories expire at 6. They'll still be gusting, though, out of the northwest up to 35. Make sure all these numbers are right, and they are so far. Clear skies falling through the 20s into the evening. We'll be back into the upper teens tonight. At least the winds will be calm, so it won't feel any colder than what it already is. We'll go low 40s tomorrow. Our lows tomorrow night pretty close to average. Then we start going a bit above normal again. We should be in the mid 40s, and now we're going above that, back in the low mid 50s. We're not looking at any 70-degree readings out here, which is good. I mean, I like the 70s, yes, but we're not looking to be well above average. We're going to be low mid 50s. Overnight lows a bit on the warmer side, above average as well, low 30s. I'm going to go home after this, I think. Man, I'm just not functioning today. I apologize again. All right, we'll go into the 50s. We've got some 30s. Could get a few isolated showers Friday and possibly again on Monday. That is a check of your forecast for what it was worth. We're going to send it over to Samantha, who's probably got a much clearer explanation and details in Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, more than 60 people across at least 22 states have gotten sick from salmonella. And the outbreak is linked to raw oysters. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC says at least 20 people have been hospitalized. But at last check, no deaths have been reported. No recall has been announced because officials said a common source of the oysters had not yet been identified. The Food and Drug Administration is also investigating. Well, it's a question that many of you probably ask every day. What should we do for dinner? If you're trying to reach health goals, it may be harder to find an answer to that question. And experts say wrong food choices are made every day because of certain misconceptions. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has five food myths to leave behind as we move into 2026.
From social media to well-meaning friends, food trends can spread like fire, and they're not always true.
As anyone who's tried any food trend, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Registered dietitian Julia Zampano with Cleveland Clinic says the first common myth, to lose weight, you have to give up all your favorite foods.
Maybe you have it a little less often at a smaller portion, but I think all foods can fit into a plan.
Next, avoid grain products when trying to lose weight. That's false. Zampano says it's a matter of how much of those you're eating, what you're pairing them with, and how you prepare them.
It's most important just to choose whole grains and a very balanced diet.
Third, going gluten-free is healthier. Zampano says if you have gluten sensitivity, yes, avoid gluten. But she says that doesn't equal weight loss.
Gluten-free products are pretty much the same product like bread, but just made with a flour that doesn't have that protein in it.
Fourth, avoid all fats to lose weight. Again, false. Zampano says fat is essential to our bodies, but she says to limit the intake and focus on eating healthy fats. Finally, going vegetarian helps you lose weight and be healthier. That's a myth. While plant-based diets are healthy, simply avoiding meat doesn't necessarily equate to healthier outcomes.
You may not be meeting your protein needs, your calcium needs, or other nutrient needs. Make sure you get all your nutrient needs by the food choices you're making.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a young boy from Pittsburgh gets a warm welcome home after being in the hospital for 5 months.
And we do have an alert day today for the bitterly cold temperatures and potentially dangerously cold wind chills out there. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, now that Christmas gifts are unwrapped, recycling plants prepare for an increase in business.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KYM Morning News. It's 5:35. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is a Monday, December the 29th. Only a couple more days left of 2025, and then we'll be in 2026, if you can imagine that. I remember when I was younger, I asked my parents, because my parents were older, about the year 2000, and they both had the same response. They really didn't expect to see the year 2000. Just because of the state of the world, I guess. I'm not sure. That
got really dark
really
quick,
they just
Chris.
didn't, like, it was so far away to them when they were growing up, you know, like, it was very futuristic. They didn't, they didn't know what was going to happen by that time, but they made it to 2000. We're about to make it to 2026. We almost have flying cars now, too. We had that story last week.
With the flying...
the flying drone. That was not a car. Well, anyway. I think I've got all the weather graphics fixed, too, and I've got some coffee, so I think we should be all right, hopefully.
You know, we're waking up. Hopefully you're waking up. Hopefully you're functioning a little bit better this Monday morning than we are.
I am not
It's like
functioning.
the cold froze our brains.
Yeah, that it certainly did. And that, again, is why we do have the alert day today, is for the bitterly, if not dangerously cold temperatures we have, especially this morning. Let's start with a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and there it is, through the magic of television, also through the magic of Daniel Camp, who's in the back right now. See, he has a lot of magical powers. And it is clear outside. It's looking pretty good so far. We are clear from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Same from the KDOT camera, 69-400. Again, looking along 171 here. And one final stop to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, looking good. A couple of extra cars out this time in the morning than what we've seen. Now we're getting back to work. And again, that also ties into the alert day. While I know most kids are still out of school for this week, a lot of folks, though, heading back to work today, and it is very cold. We have wind advisories for the eastern portion of our area through 6 a.m. because we're looking at wind gusts upwards of 45 miles an hour at times, which we have certainly seen out there. And then you factor that in with the cold temperatures. We've got dangerously cold wind chills, which we'll show you as well. It is 19 in Joplin right now, 18 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, at least on really the positive side, is all of our temperatures are positive numbers, not by a lot in some cases, but we're into the mid-upper teens. We have some low 20s down south. Nevada is the warmer spot right now, sitting at 23, and a quick scan, it looks like Nevada, the cold spot, at 16. Then you factor in that wind, and it doesn't matter what your temperature is. Take a look at this. Feels like 2 below zero. That's -2 in Yates Center, 0 in Iola and Stockton, 1 Chanute, Nevada, and Greenfield. The warmest wind chill we have is Sedan at 13. 13. It is bitterly cold. It is dangerously cold, honestly. So if you are heading out, bundle up. If you can stay in this morning, probably a better idea. But if you do have to be out, you need to make sure that you are layered up and ready to go. And it's not going to get much warmer today. And this is the other graphic that just blows my mind. Look at these numbers. Stockton, Nevada, 51 degrees colder now than where we were 24 hours ago. So at this exact same time, most of us are nearly 50 degrees colder than where we were yesterday. So let that set in. That means we were in the 60s this time yesterday. Isn't that wild? Mother Nature never stops to, the surprises. All right, gusty northwest winds. Now, once those advisories expire, the winds don't just stop, but they drop below wind advisory criteria, and they'll still be gusting out of the northwest upwards of about 35 miles an hour. So that's why our wind chills today will remain most likely in the teens as we head through the day, but we'll have plentiful sunshine. It'll certainly look nice out there. Clear skies. About 20 by 9 a.m., mid-20s by noon. Our highs today, upper 20s, low 30s, and those northwest winds again gusting upwards of 35 as we head through the day. Winds will become calm overnight, still cold, and then we got a gradual warm-up on the way. We'll look at those details for you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The promise of an IHOP in Pittsburgh has been fulfilled after 3 years in the making. The restaurant is located at 200 East Centennial Drive, and employees say that they hope to be open by December 28th. Employees say there is still a lot of work to be done and that there are still positions that need to be filled, including servers, hosts, line cooks, and dishwashers. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and it means an increase in traffic for recycling, with boxes and wrapping paper making their way into recycling bins. SDK Recycling says this is their busiest time of year. All cars will be charged $10 for materials. Those who recycle are asked to sort their materials ahead of their time. Well, a Pittsburgh boy who underwent a bone marrow transplant is welcomed home with a parade. KOAM's Mitch Adams spoke with the young family and some parade participants to bring us more details.
That's the sound of a 5-year-old from Pittsburgh coming home after 5 months in the hospital.
Calvin just got home from having a bone marrow transplant in Cincinnati, Ohio. We've been there since July, and now he can't really see a lot of people and hang out with them in person, so the easiest way is to do a car parade that my mother-in-law set up for us.
Crawford County Sheriff Billy Tomasi rounded up his deputies and cleared the way.
I want our county community to understand that our department cares about this community, not just one child, it's the whole community, the whole family, everybody out there. We're one family and we're here to support everybody in our community.
Motorcycles, fire trucks, and cars of Calvin supporters waved him on as they drove by, marking a milestone in a long journey.
I was just shaking the whole time because, like, the thrill with it and seeing him excited, and I feel like I was mainly excited probably out of everybody just because we've had a long journey, so it's exciting to be home.
Calvin's parents say that the community has been an invaluable part of getting their son back home after his procedure.
We honestly wouldn't have made it very far if we didn't have people in the community to help, like, tie in on things, because, like, emergency situations with him, so we're extremely grateful, and we're, like, excited to be, like, we're appreciative to be a part of the community, honestly.
In Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Some cars in the parade made a stop to give Calvin Christmas presents in light of the holiday season. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Gold prices climb as investors expect Fed rate cuts next year and the dollar weakens. In Consumer Watch, gold is having its best year since 1979. Gold's increase of 71% this year has far outpaced the S&P's 500, which has risen by 18%. Expectations for some Fed rate cuts in 2026 are supporting gold's rise. A weaker U.S. dollar is helping boost the price too. It makes buying gold relatively more affordable for international investors. Gold is considered a resilient investment, with investors expecting the precious metal will retain its value in crisis, if inflation surges or if currencies drop in value. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, it is bitterly cold out there this morning, dangerously cold. In fact, very windy as well. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Some people may not be thinking about a cold treat like ice cream on a winter's day, but the folks at One Family Farm in Iowa are all about it, and they're helping make sure their dairy products are for everybody year-round, not just at the holiday season. Ag Day's Michelle Rook is here with all the sweet details.
Located in northwest Iowa, Stinson Family Farms dates back over 100 years.
Right behind you is where one of the great-great-grandfathers homesteaded. So we did homestead in this area.
The Stinsons are grain farmers, and they ran a dairy for 20 years. However, in 2015, they started their own creamery, which currently involves 10 family members.
Our story is trying to survive on the farm and vertically integrate ourselves so then we can keep the heritage going and our family farm going and providing for all our families. There's a family member in all aspects of the business.
The ice cream manufacturing is done right on the farm and is overseen by Justin Stensland.
We'll make about 1,400 quarts today, and
We do that 2 to 3 times a week, roughly.
The family produces 70 to 80,000 quarts annually using a small batch process that starts with their base ice cream mix.
You dump that into an ice cream machine, and then depending on the flavor you're making, and then you add your ingredients, you mix it all up, and it takes about 10 minutes to make a batch, and it comes out like soft serve.
It then goes into the hardening room for 18 to 24 hours.
Then you put it in a negative 25-degree freezer overnight, and then it hardens like a rock.
Stensland's originally offered a long list of dairy products, but with their flair for ice cream, it quickly became their focus.
It's fuller fat, and we really focus on good quality ingredients, and it's a lactose-free base. So then, as long as you stick to the simple ice creams, you can tolerate the ice cream.
Today, Stensland's makes over 80 flavors of ice cream, and this time of year, they include some holiday favorites.
Our eggnog ice cream is a popular one. We did a cinnamon, ginger snap, and a white chocolate peppermint.
These and other flavors are sold at their retail store in Sioux Falls as part of their 12 Days of Ice Cream Christmas promotion.
The 12 days of Christmas, so it'll be 12 different flavors, and somebody can come in and have a different flavor throughout their 12 days of Christmas.
They also feature holiday shakes and other novelties.
And we also do different pies, like cheesecake pies we'll do. So we'll do like a white chocolate peppermint cheesecake pie, and we'll do a pumpkin cheesecake pie also.
Plus, Stensland's incorporate their cheese, curds, and products produced on local farms to create holiday gift offerings.
We're also doing gift boxes. So for corporate gift boxes, anything for individuals, we'll do a lot of different types of gift boxes.
And at Christmas and all year long, they pride themselves in producing local products fresh from the farm.
We take passion and pride in what we do, and if we can do that as a family and also give people the ice cream like that and serve that to them, it's rewarding.
In Larchwood, Iowa, I'm Michelle Rook reporting.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, and again, a reminder, today is an alert day, and that is simply because of the bitterly cold temperatures we have, the big temperature drop, and the dangerously cold wind chills we have now. We do have locations below zero on those wind chills, so if you're heading out, bundle up and be prepared for the cold. We also have wind advisories for the eastern half of our area that will continue through 6 a.m., and we've seen those winds where they've been gusting upwards of 45 miles an hour at times, so you absolutely need to bundle up. You need to be cautious. And if you're heading back to work today, and if you can work remotely, I'm not saying do it, but it would certainly beat having to get out in the cold. So that's what we've got going on. Future track for us. We've got gusty northwest winds. Those wind advisories, again, at this time are still set to expire at 6 a.m. That doesn't mean it's going to suddenly stop being windy at 6. It just means the wind gusts are going to fall below wind advisory criteria. But across the region, we'll still have those northwest winds gusting upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour, which is going to keep our wind chills in the teens for the majority of the day. The one plus is that if you are inside and you look outside, it'll be sunny. It will look nicer than what it really is out there. We'll continue with clear skies into the evening, as with the gusty winds, but by late evening and overnight, see how those wind arrows slow down? Winds will become calm as we go overnight tonight into tomorrow. And we're going to spend the majority of our Tuesday with clear skies. Winds will shift out of the southwest at about 5 to 10. And as we head into Tuesday afternoon, we start to look at some partly cloudy skies here and there, especially in the evening and overnight hours. We head into Wednesday, and it's another fairly decent day. Partly cloudy, will be a bit warmer. We have that weak boundary passes through. We get some northwest winds. Nothing too crazy about any of that, though, which is certainly good. We're not having to worry about that. And temperatures, believe it or not, as we head into Wednesday, will actually begin to climb back above normal. Not by as much as what we saw through Christmas, where we're in the 70s, but temperatures will climb a bit as we start heading into Wednesday and the rest of this week, which will also bring our overnight lows up a bit as well, which will be a nice break from this brief but intense drop in temperatures. As I mentioned earlier, temperatures across the region are upwards of 50 degrees colder now than where we were at this time 24 hours ago, which is just an insane temperature drop out there. All right, through the morning, upper teens to start, mid-20s by 11 a.m. Sunny and breezy out there, though, so be prepared for that cold chill as you walk out the door. Another look at your forecast right after this. All right, again, temperatures below normal today, hence the alert day for today. We're going to go upper 20s, low 30s, but with those northwest winds still gusting to 35 through the day, we're keeping our wind chills in the teens, so you need to bundle up all day no matter what you're doing today. Into the evening, the winds do eventually begin to ease up, becoming calm overnight. Still clear skies, falling back through the 20s by 10, and then we'll be back into the upper teens tonight, so another below normal night ahead of us. Now, over the next few days, though, we do start to warm up, which will certainly be nice. We'll be a pinch warmer tomorrow, but still technically below average as we go in the low 40s. But then Tuesday night, we get those southwest winds, and our low is pretty close to normal, and we start warming up above average over the next several days. We start hanging out in the low to mid 50s. Could get an isolated shower or two on Friday. Could get an isolated shower or two on Monday. Otherwise, we are dry for the majority of the week, and the weekend looking pretty good, low mid 50s. I don't know about anybody else. It's my intention to take down those Christmas lights this upcoming weekend because, yeah, you might as well leave them up one more week. Why not, right? Overnight lows, though, not bad, a bit above normal as well. Mostly into the 30s. Could see some upper 30s, low 40s from Saturday night into Sunday morning. That is a check of your forecast, and we've got a whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.